I couldn't stand that horizontal position. Didn't like it. So it's all pretty much the same thing. Just cleaning up, thinking about what I got to do here. Do 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 must be good, and you want some fun. Do you think you're gonna find it? You got to treat yourself like number one. Do you need to be reminded? Yes.
John just texted me.
Yes.
To go to the store and get Coca-Cola and a bag of ice.
Okay, Noreen. I'm not even going to think about this now, all right?
Listen, I want to interrupt him. He's on the phone with his sister. Apparently his niece broke her leg, and he chased me away. So I'm just going to lay down for an hour.
Good. I like that idea. Good. Yeah, I hear you. All right, don't let it get to you. Okay. I don't give a shit. I really don't care. Do 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 do. Okay, so there we go. I like that better. So I guess I'm just going to do what I normally do. And that one's ready. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Hey, Professor. What's up, man? I got the phone far away on a stand. I'll try to listen to what you're saying. But I really just got a lot of finish work to do today, my friend. Professor. And basically that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to do some finish work. Get it ready for the night. And so you guys have a good show. Oh, it's going to get busy. I got a lot of things. I'm going to have to put a lot of fuses in these devices. This will take a little while. I got pinwheels ready. A couple of these guys. Gonna have a nice show tonight, man. I'm gonna finish up that pinwheel. I'm gonna load these mortars up. This was actually a string, a cone of string I found. I'm gonna try to read comments. I got the phone far away. Oh, hi, Jillian. Thanks in advance. Oh, well, you're welcome. I'm getting ready for the night, sweetie. Getting ready for the night. So anybody who cares, this was a thing that had string on it. And I took the string off and I used the cone. I don't know if you ever saw cones at a fireworks store, but that's what I use it for. I stuck composition in here. And that's going to be hopefully a cool cone. I'm going to make several more devices tonight. But there's a rocket I made. I used popsicle sticks for fins, and I used a straw for a launch lug. This has a loud boom in it. I normally don't make the booms, but since it's the 4th of July, I figure I can get away with it. So this has a loud header on it. I made a couple loud bangers. When's the last time you saw that? One of them. That's homemade, man. And you bet that's powerful as all hell. That's like a regular sized M80. There's like a little baby firecracker. So Richard is ready. This device is not quite finished. I'll be finishing this up. This is called a tourbillon. When this lights, it spins on the ground, stabilizes itself because of the sticks, and then shoots up in the air. I'll explain all the detail and stuff that I put into it. This is called a Saxon. When I light this end here, it spins this way. And then when the fuel's done burning, this is a quick fuse. It passes fire to this vent hole, and then it spins the opposite way. That's called a Saxon. I made two of them. This just doesn't have the nail in it yet. That's another Saxon. This is like a pinwheel, kinda, but it's not a wheel. I'll put a fuse in here, and the thrust will shoot this way, and then when that's done burning, it'll pass fire to this, and then it'll spin the opposite way. I made a couple of them ahead of time, and I'm going to make another one right in front of your faces. This is actually like a pinwheel that's ready to go on the wheel. That'll be the first motor. It'll spin that way. When that fuel's done burning, it'll pass fire to that motor. It'll do it 3 times. This is just a fountain, a ground firework. I'm reading the comments. But this got weight to it. This is about, I'd say, at least a pound. So that's going to be a nice long fountain for the night. I made a couple of them. Here's another one I made, a little bit smaller. But these are big, man. That's 1.5 inches in diameter. I still got to drill the hole in the top of that one. So I got a lot of things going to keep me busy for a while. And I got to stop talking about it and start doing it if I'm going to be ready for the night. So maybe I'll load these guys up real quick. I got granulated black powder. This is all homemade. These are all stars. These are light on fire, and I'll put these stars into here, shoot them up in the air. I might as well get busy and start doing something. Stop talking about it. Well, these all have been used before, so I'm just going to cut fuses and put them in. Do, 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 do. So let's see how good these fuses fit. That's a loose fit. I'm going to use a different size fuse. This is a larger diameter fuse. I'll use this fuse. Do, 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 do. Why won't that fuse go in? Oh, there it goes. It's in there now. One more. There we go. I'll put some black powder in there. I'm going to watch some TV. All right, Brown, you do what you got to do. These are all little mortars. I'm going to put some black powder in there and then load stars in and stuff a piece of paper in there. When the black powder goes off, it'll shoot the stars pretty high in the air. I'll explain as I'm going along what I'm doing. This is granulated black powder. I'll stick a little more than a teaspoon in each tube, and then I'll put stars. You'll see what I'm doing. A teaspoon and a half, maybe 2 teaspoons. Ooh, that's going to be a nice, that'll go up high, that one. Dropping pieces. These are blue stars. That's the only color I made so far. I'll check back in. Okay, Joanne. I know this is boring for most people. This is just a live stream of me making my fireworks this afternoon. I'm going to click back on, when it gets dark and show you how I light all these guys off. Maybe if I get a few people watching, I'll set a rocket off or two. I got it ready over here. I have several rockets pretty much ready to go. Light one of these guys off. Yeah, I got a lot going here. All right, I'm going to put the stars in now. I'll put like 5 in each. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's cool about these, I can reload these after I shoot them off and do it all over again if I want. 2, 3, 4. These are smaller. I'll put a couple more in. 5, 6. That'll be the last one. Then I'll stuff some paper down on top of that to confine it more, because more things are confined, the better off the explosion. If it wasn't confined as well, then the explosion wouldn't be as nice. So I'll use paper towels for that. That'll work for that. Shout it, shout it out loud. So I plan on, these are drivers. These are driver motors. Still need to drill the nozzles in the pacifier, but I'm going to glue one driver like this and glue another driver like that, and this will be a spinning device similar to this. Exactly like this. Not similar, exactly. So I'll turn on my glue gun. That'll take a couple minutes to warm up. Maybe pull these fuses. I'll take them fuses, make them more secure. No, I don't like that at all. I don't like that. This tape isn't sticky. Tape's not sticky. That sucks. But I'll make it work. As usual, I'll make it work. There. That's better. Sort of tear the tape a little bit in half so I can feed it up the fuse, like in the middle of the fuse a little. Hold on to it better. I'll pull the fuse out just a little bit so the fire hits the gunpowder better. Pull it out just a little bit. And I got one more. There we go. So, all right, glue gun's heating up. This is the piece I'm going to use. These two motors. While that glue gun's heating up, I might as well drill the vent holes and the pacifier holes. There you go. You can see what's going on there. one drilled out. Put a pass fire hole in this one because it's going to pass fire from this driver to that driver. You'll see. So now I'll get another drill and I'll hand twist these. You'll see what I mean. I'll just hand twist these to make sure the size is perfect and all that. I got different size bits here. I want to make sure this is definitely into the fuel. I'm drilling into the clay now. Now I'm into the fuel. You can see the black on the tip of the drill bit. That means I'm into the fuel, so I know that the fuse will light that. There's a pass fire hole. You'll see what all that means in a moment. All right, now I'll glue it on the device. Love glue guns, man. That hot glue, as soon as it cools off, it's ready. I'll reinforce all these a little bit with tape. So that'll go on like this. This will pass fire to that. That's what I want. Now I'll run fuse from the back of this motor into the front of that one. While the glue gun's still hot, I'll glue a couple other things. Just want to set this somewhere from there. Okay, I'm good with that. All right. Oh, none of these holes are drilled yet. Okay, well, let me turn the glue gun off for now. Maybe I can drill it. No. All right. I'm just going to concentrate on what I'm doing. I'll talk out loud a little bit and tell you guys what I'm doing. So I'll finish one device at a time so I can move on. This glue's cool enough now. I could start finish up the work. This is pretty simply, I'm going to put a fuse from here to there. But I have to widen that hole a little bit. I have bits just for that job. I'll bring them over here. Making this hole wide enough for the fuse to fit in there. bit isn't sharp enough. Maybe if I start a hole with a smaller bit, see what happens. Freaking bits got dull. Yeah, that's better. That's much better. Okay. So I'm going to put a fuse from here to there. This white fuse is quick burning fuse. That's what you want. You want the fire to be passed really quick when this fuel's done burning from here to there. You want that fire to be passed real fast. Let's check and see how well. I want to make that hole wider too. I'll know when I'm in far enough when I see the powder onto the drill bit. I could also feel the difference in the texture here. The black powder is on the bit, so I know I'm into the fuel now. So now I'll put the fuse in. So I need a fuse about that long. Let me cut her. I don't like cutting with scissors. Scissors can cause a spark. We don't want sparks. So we come from the back of one motor. Yeah, I'm satisfied with that. Into the front of another. There. And I'm satisfied with both of them. I'll secure it with tape. And I like to protect that open fuse from sparks, so I cover that with tape also. I'll cut this in half. I don't need the full width. I don't need the full width. Okay, so this one's done now. Well, now all I have to do is stick a fuse into the first driver, light that, and it'll pass fire. You'll see when I start lighting these guys tonight. So All right, the next thing I want to do is I want to secure these drivers onto this wheel. Actually, yeah, this is the next undertaking I'm going to do. But before I even start gluing these onto this is a paint can lid, by the way. It's just a screw going through the middle, it spins, that'll act like a pinwheel. But before I glue these on, I want to drill nozzles into the clay like I've always been doing. And I want to make pass fire holes in two of these guys too. You'll see. I'll point the camera back over here. Hey Jeff, what's up, man? I'm just working in the shop. I'll be here all day, buddy. So I'll be here. This is going to be one of them forever live streams. I'll answer questions to anybody who's got them. But I'm basically working the whole time today, getting ready for the 4th. So I'm going to drill past fire holes. I'm going to drill nozzles and past fire holes now is what's going on here. So first I'll drill the nozzles. Then I'm going to make sure these are all wide enough that the fuse will go in there. So I'll hand twist that with one of these bits. I'm going to take my time and do it right so these all work tonight. So, like I said, this will be a long live stream. All right, I know I'm into that fuel. I can see the powder on the tip. So that's good. So all the nozzles are drilled out. Now I'll do a couple pass fire holes. Widen the hole, make sure a fuse will get in, make sure I'm into the fuel. Yeah, I'm into that fuel. I'm into that fuel. Okay, now to mount the actual drivers onto the actual wheel. I'll set this up over here. Turn the glue gun back on. Maybe get some light on the subject. So I'm going to want this wheel spinning this way. Doesn't matter which way, but I want to make sure that my motors are oriented properly. Okay. So thrust is going to be shooting that way. It's going to push the wheel this way. So I want to make sure that my nozzle's here, and my nozzle's there. Okay. So as long as I wait for the gun to glue up, I'll glue them in place. And that'll be another device done. Put this up here so everybody can see good. I'm waiting for that glue to. Might as well drill this out. This is a fountain. I'm going to drill a nozzle out while we're waiting for this to heat up. Waiting for that glue gun to heat up. Drilling a hole into a fountain I prepared earlier. I might make the hole bigger. I'll see how that first one burns, and then I might make that hole bigger. I don't know. So, anything else I could do while we're waiting for the gun to heat up? Not really. I could finish that off. I'm gonna make a couple more rockets. But you haven't seen these guys in a while. That's pretty cool. Might as well put a fuse in this instead of waiting around. fuse into that cone. Boom, boom, boom. The old fuse in the cone trick. I also secure these up with tape so I know they don't fly off while we're waiting for that glue gun to heat up. Not only do I have these glued on, but I want to secure it better with tape. You know, it's always good to have a little redundancy in fireworking. You know, the glue should hold these on from flying off, but in case they don't hold it on, well, now I got backup tape. So now I got two things to make sure these will stay on. It's always good to have a backup plan. I think that glue gun's hot enough now. Just give it another minute. I'll take one more device and I'll start gluing. So in case the glue fails, the hot glue does. Now I got tape to hold these on. I'll take that up. But that glue gun's hot now. I'm going to start adding these motors to this lid here. That's what I'm going to do now. Oh, that's perfect. That glue gun's nice and warm. It's just what I want. Turn the glue gun off. One more dab over here. There. Now that's ready to go. Put more tape on these. I'll take them also. I got a lot of taping to do yet, but it's alright, we'll get there. Got nothing better to do. We're waiting for it to get dark anyway, right? So, I can't wait. I'm expecting a lot of people to come down this lake near where I live, right out back of my house, and a lot of people have store-bought fireworks they're going to be bringing along and lighting off. do, 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 do. Oh shit, that was a rocket. Oh well. Worse things could have happened. Do, 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 do. Okay. Pass fire. Pass fire. Okay. So we go from the back of one motor. I like to give it a little twist. That way I know it's in there good. Back of this motor into the front of this one. Oh yeah, I'm satisfied with that. I know that's gonna work. Back of this motor into the front of that one. Again, a little bit of a twist. Don't need all that. I'm gonna cut off a little bit of fuse because I don't need it all. It's easier to work with when you have the right length. Son of a bee. No big deal. Back of that motor into the front of this one. And secure that with tape. Especially the front one. Protect it. Getting there. Okay, now the fuse is all protected. Just got to put my main ignition fuse in, and I'm good to go right there. I'll wait till the last minute to do that. There's another done device. Okay, I'm going to make a couple more rockets and stuff. I'll be busy for a while. So, here's something I need to do. This is called a tourbillon. And this white fuse you see here, that's quick matched. It's instant. I'm going to put a timed fuse to light both these quick match at the same time. And this quick match is going to light 4 vent holes. It's going to light the 2 on the bottom of the device, 1 on this side and 1 on that side. So when all 4 vents light at the same time, the device will spin. 2 vents will spin the device, and the 2 bottom vents will push the device into the air. So that'll be cool. I have 2 of these. These are called tourbillons. This one's done already. This one's completely done, ready to go. And I got to put this green, what you see when I'm touching with my index finger here, I got to put a green fuse like that onto this guy. And then this device will be done. And the way I go about that is I use a razor blade and cut off some of the top of that fuse and expose the black powder, and then I'll tape some of that time fuse to it. So that's what I'll do now. I don't know if you can see me, but I'm cutting off a little top of that fuse and exposing the black powder. That black powder is exposed. Now I'll expose some of this black powder. That. Yeah, I like what I see there. Okay. Cut a piece of this fuse. I'll expose a little bit more of this fuse also. The more fire you can pass on, the better. Yeah, I like what I see there. Let's put a piece of tape there, and I'll be good to go. There's another one down. So I don't have much more to do. I'm gonna make some rockets. I'm gonna make more rockets. I'll ram black powder into these tubes. I'll make some smaller rockets. Hey, you guys. Do you have any order of lighting planned? You guys are talking back and forth. But I'm sorry I'm not answering questions, but you guys are talking. That's nice that you guys are talking. I'm sorry. I should answer questions. I pay better close attention when I'm walking the dog. I don't have any order, and I'm lighting these off to answer your question, Jillian. I'm just going to play it by ear. I know I'm going to wait till it starts getting darker. If quite a few people start watching, I'll light a couple things off during the day now or in a little while. But I at least want to get the work part of it done. And I'm going to live stream later. Hey, Sean, what's up, bro? Good to hear from you, my man. I'm making a lot of fireworks, Sean. Editor, yo, what's up, editor? I'm doing some finish work in my shop. Hi, bro. Editor says hi. Hi back. Jillian, I answered Jillian's question. She's understanding. Editor's good. And yeah, I'm finishing up some of my firework devices. I'll answer questions as I see them the best I can. And also, I plan to do live stream as I'm lighting these off. I'll light a couple off sometime in the near future during the day, but I'm going to light most of them off, all of these, a lot of these guys when it starts getting dark. And as you can see, there's a lot here, man. Look at all the goodies I got. I got at least 3. I have 4 pinwheels. One on that paint can lid. One on this paint can lid. And there's 2 here. Look, these have 3 drivers. These guys have 4 drivers on one device. This spinning device, this only has 2 drivers. Look at this. I don't know if you're still there, Sean. Sean, check this. I'm doing a lot. Sean, check this, bro. When's the last time you seen one of them, man? Huh? You can't buy these anymore. I had to make this. That is beautiful. This here is probably more powerful than when they used to make cherry bombs. This has more flash powder in it than the store-bought cherry bombs back in the day. And you couldn't buy a cherry bomb in a real store to save your life nowadays, and I'm here making them. Look at this little baby guy. Cherry bomb. Let me get these tubes out of my hand. Cherry bomb. Little tiny firecracker. For comparison, that's about an average size M80. That's an average size M80. So look how little that guy is, right? And there's a cherry bomb. All 3 of these will be set off car alarms. All 3 of these will set car alarms off. I may not light this off tonight. I don't want to get my neighbors pissed or scare my dog or cat. Hi, Jillian, for cat emoji. I got this off of, there was string wrapped around here, and I pulled the string off, and I actually stuck gunpowder or firework composition in here. And this is Richard's version of a cone. It's not a store-bought cone. This is my version. There's a real sparkly composition in here. I got a feeling it's going to burn the top right off, but we'll see. That's a 3/4 inch tube. It's called a 1-pound rocket. There's a tube that's empty. Hi. Hi. This is 3/4 inch tube, and this is all black powder in here. But I have flash powder in the top. So this is going to make a loud boom when it's done flying. I'm trying not to take any chances. I put fins on these guys instead of playing around with a stick. Because fins work better. Fins always work better. And here's a straw. I don't know if you guys ever played with model rockets when you were little kids. But the straw fits down this thing here. This is like a launch rod. And that launch rod will guide the rocket in a straight line until it clears the rod. And then the fins will take over. And this rocket should fly straight. I'm going to make a couple more before today's over. There's another one. And this one here has a report in it too. I got flash powder, a nice salute in this one too. And again, a launch lug. If I had to count a number, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, there's over 20 here. If you want numbers, and I'm going to be making more. I'm not done making them. That's a 1/2 inch rocket. These are 1/4 inch rockets. When it gets dark, you guys, I'll be live streaming again. There's a few people watching, so I'm talking to everybody. When it starts getting dark, I'm lighting all my homemade devices off. And these guys, these have headers on them also. Normally, I don't put headers on my rockets because the neighbors. But since it's the 4th of July, I think I'll blend in with everybody else. These guys will be loud too. Got a bunch of loud ones going off tonight. This is called a Saxon. It's a single tube. Here's the ignition spot. And when the gunpowder lights, it'll push the device in this direction. And then when this fuel cell's done burning, here's a fuse here. It'll pass fire to this fuse over to this vent hole. And then the device will spin the opposite way. So first it spins this way, passes fire to that vent, and then it spins that way. So I think I have multiple fuels in here too. So you're going to have like silver sparks and orange sparks. So not only is it going to change direction, but you'll have multiple fuels in it too. Gotta go. Oh, gotta go big today for sure. Yes, gotta go. Yes, Richard's going big today, Jillian. I'm very proud of this because you can't get these anymore. No, you're never going to get a cherry bomb unless somebody makes it for you. They used to sell these a long time ago. I'd say around 40 years ago. Used to be able to buy these. They might have imitations, but this is the real thing. This will set off car alarms. This will take off 3 out of 4 fingers, if you look at it that way. This one off in my hand, I'm going to throw up, put it like that. Even if this little baby thing went off in my hand, I might lose a finger. That's a real M80 for comparison. I know, pretty big, huh? So, I'm very excited. Yay! Look at these guys. I stuck a tablespoon of granulated black powder in each, and then I stuffed stars down the tops. So these are all going to shoot stars into the air. I got a lot going here, man. This is just a fountain that goes on the ground, but this weighs like over 1 pound. That's a lot of composition that went into this. So that'll last a long time, man. That's just going to shoot sparks up into the air. All right, enough talk. There's 5 people watching. Maybe I'll shoot a rocket off. Let's shoot a rocket off. Something that doesn't make noise, though. Oh, that's got a header. Damn, they all got headers. I might have to make a rocket without a header real quick. This doesn't have a header. Yeah, I could light this one off now. So let's light this off now. I'll stick a fuse in it and we'll set it off. Gotta make sure I grab the one without the header. What the hell? That's not it. Not it, not it, not it. Oh, here it is. Yeah, no header. Let's shoot this, light this one off now. Why not? Why not, Joe Seba? Joe, you tuned in at the right time. Gonna light one of my homemade rockets off. I think this one has titanium in it, so it should be pretty sparky. I may not have my lighter on me. Oh, yes, I do. Good. All right, I just got to find a launch tube. And... oh, one's already out there. So here we go. Here we go. People down the lake. But then again, this is the 4th of July, for crying out loud. You're allowed to light fireworks on the 4th of July. Let's see how this goes, guys. Uh-oh. Well, I don't know. The other ones will do better. At least it worked a little. Yeah, let's make another rocket. Let's make a rocket. It'll definitely fly. That's what we'll do. Richard's going to make a rocket that will fly right now. So I'll use one of these tubes. I normally explain what I'm doing as I do it, and I'll just say it out loud, but today's just having fun kind of day. It's not really a tutorial. I'm looking for my tools. There they are. I waxed my tools to make them more slippery. Look how shiny that is. All right, so I'm creating a nozzle now. That condensed that clay down into a solid chunk. And now I'll start introducing fuel right here. Oh, that's straight up gunpowder. Here, this is the fuel. This is rocket fuel. And we'll ram a few increments. This rocket will fly. That last gunpowder, I made that when it was raining. Gunpowder got moist. This powder's nice and dry. This rocket will fly nicely. Give it like 10, 15 whacks. I'll ram a few increments, and then this one will fly, I promise. Well, I shouldn't make promises I can't keep, but this should fly. If I make promises, I like keeping them, so I got to take that promise back. Well, that would have been a mess, but it's not, so it isn't. I'll be done in less than 5 minutes, and this rocket will fly. Less than 5 minutes. Doing this so much lately, I'm getting good at it. One or two more increments and we'll fly this one. Put some clay in there. We're adding a bulkhead. That's what we're doing. Now we're drilling a nozzle. Making sure I'm into the actual powder. I want to see black on the tip of my drill bit, so I know I'm into the fuel. Yeah, I'm into the fuel. We'll put a stick on, and this one will fly. This one will fly. If I can find the stick. It's a little light, maybe. We'll try. No, I want to get this right for you guys. This is a better stick. All right, yeah. Point the nozzle down. Yeah, this baby will fly. I got a good feeling for this one. Stick a piece of fuse in there. Little piece of tape. Hold the fuse in. This one will fly. Wish I could promise. I don't like making promises I can't keep, but it should fly. This one will fly good. Go to the front camera. I feel good about this one. It's a drier day today. Yesterday was wet. Oh yeah, that flew nicely. Yeah. So there, I didn't disappoint. I did not disappoint. So good, that one flew. I can't wait till tonight. Yeah, baby, tonight when it gets dark. Boy, I did a lot, man. There's a lot here I did. So, all right. wonder what time it is. 3 o'clock. I don't know. What should I do? Maybe I'll grab the dog and walk the dog. I don't know what. I already got all this stuff built. That was my friend. Wants me to come over for a barbecue. I'm lighting fireworks. Wild horses couldn't hold me back from this one. I wait all year for this day. So we'll have the barbecue over here. I'll eat a quick hamburger while I'm lighting my stuff off. So I don't know what I want to do. I already have a lot of stuff built already. Let's build one more rocket, and then I'll walk the dog and I'll wrap with you guys. Let's build another rocket. We'll build a 3/4 rocket, one of the big ones. This is actually a good tooling for this type of rocket. I actually bought this tooling from a hobby place, and it's meant just for 3/4 inch tubes. I usually make tubes, so I bought this one. Obviously, I couldn't make a tube like that. So, all right, let's do this. Since these tubes are so cheap, I normally get good tubes, but these tubes are cheap and they'll burst. So I gotta, you'll see, I'll explain what I'm doing. I'm wrapping a piece of paper around this tube right off the bat, and you'll see why in a minute. And then I'm sticking this whole thing into this here. And the reason I do this is because when I ram these rockets, if I don't protect them with this outer casing like that, the tube will just burst. And it'd be a waste of time. And this is why I do this. Okay. Now I know the tube won't burst. So first we'll introduce clay. These rockets are so big, I actually got to use a funnel. And instead of that little tiny bit of clay, look how much clay I put in. That's a significant amount. And I'll show you how I know how much clay is good, what's good and what's bad. You'll know what I mean in a minute. This is the tool I use to make the nozzle. There's too much clay in there. I gotta empty some out, and I'll tell you why in a minute. These two lines on the tool, you want to come up to that first line. I'll show you what I mean. Still a little bit too much clay in there. All right, this will have to do. See that first line? That's where I'm around about where I want to be anyway. So then when I ram this down, when I ram this with the hammer, I want to drop it down to this line here. I want to push that aluminum rod down almost to where that line's at. You'll see how it goes. Hold on a second. Yeah. I'm Marion, listen, that's fine, hon. I'm in the middle of something, okay? All right. So that'll form the nozzle. Now I can start introducing the actual powder. But I want to get out that clay. I want to get the clay out of this hole. There's a hole here. You'll see why when I take it off. I'll explain all that stuff to you. So now I'll start introducing the actual rocket fuel. And I'll use this drift 1 or 2 more times, and then I'll start using the flat drift. And I'll explain why when I get there. Now I'm going to switch drifts, and I'll tell you why. Because there's a metal piece that sticks up in this stand right here. And if this flat piece were to come down onto that metal piece, it could cause a spark and get this thing to light when we don't want it to light. You want it to light with the fuse, not while you're making it. So I'm going to switch from this nozzle making drift to the flat drift. And as usual, I always do it in increments. You can't ram it all at once. Or I would, but you got to do it in increments. A lot more fuel going in them small rockets, man. A lot more black powder involved. I'm going to turn on my glue gun because I'm going to glue fins onto this. So let's fire up the glue gun. I'll put a clay bulkhead on there. I'll pull it out, take it off this, and I'll show you what's inside. I'm looking for it. There we go. I'll put a clay bulkhead on there. Take her off and I'll show you what's going on. I'm satisfied with that. I'm looking for cracks in the tube. If this paper tube's so junky, if it were to crack, this rocket would explode. So I'm going to show you what happens, why I have all this, what this tooling does. See how that tooling created that nozzle? That's a rock hard nozzle in there. Now, if I wanted to put a header on this, I would drill a little pass fire hole in that top bulkhead. I still might put a header on this. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But I'm going to glue fins onto it now. So let me straighten up a little bit. I'm still waiting for that glue gun to heat up anyways. Put some of my tools where they should be. Oh, darn it, I broke my bit. I made my fins yesterday. I'll show you what I mean. These were popsicle sticks or tongue depressors. That's what I'll use. And that's what I'll use for a launch lug. Okay. Maybe this glue gun's hot enough. Put some fins on this baby. It's warm, but it's not hot enough. I'll check to see while we're waiting for that to heat up more. I'll check to see if I actually hit the fuel. So I'll put a bit up in that nozzle hole and I'll see if I scrape it into the black powder. Oh yes, I'm into the black powder. So I know that when I put a fuse in there, I'm going to definitely hit fuel. Still not quite hot enough. Maybe I'll make up some more rocket fuels. No, that'll take a minute. I'm going to make a whole nother batch of rocket fuel. As soon as I'm done gluing these fins on, I'll show you how I make my fuel. I could either put glue on this part or the tube, either or. But I'm going to glue 4 fins on, just like that. Any comments? Hi, guys. I got to get this out of the way. And yeah, people are basically just watching. Hello to everybody. Just making a black powder rocket. Oh, good. We're starting. The glue's hot enough now. So I'm applying glue to the edge of this fin. And I'll just plop this baby on. Just like that. That glue hardens up right away. But I'll put a bigger bead when I'm all done. But just I'm gonna get all 4 on right away. Then I'll put another fin exactly opposite of that, and then one there and one there. Freaking fly. I love hot glue guns. Back in the day, they used to use like white glue, Elmer's glue or something. You'd have to wait hours. Now you could do in minutes what used to take hours. Nah, that one could have been a little better. It'll still work. I know it'll work. Here we go. Put a launch lug on there. Try to make sure the launch lug is nice and straight. So I have a rod. This one's too long. But I lower the rocket down like that. And this will give it a nice straight shot. That's the idea about that. I'm pretty much done. I'm just going to put a bigger bead of glue so it holds it a little better. That's all. A little bead there. Little bead there. Little bead there. Little bead there. Little bead on the launch lug. Let that harden up and then I'll do the other side. Dude, that looks good already. Little bead there. Little bead there. That one's a little messy, but it'll work. Sorry for mumbling. I mumble a lot, sorry. So that's it, man. I'm done. She's done. Add it to the next. Let's make another batch of rocket fuel. What I do is I use straight up black powder. Let me unplug the glue gun. Put the glue gun away. So what I'll do is I'll use my scale right here. You'll see in a moment. Okay. I'll weigh 100 grams of straight black powder, and then I'll add 5% metal, and that's how I get my sparks. I could use just straight up black powder, and that'll work fine. But if I want like a nice tail on the rocket, then I'll use titanium or Joshua. I'll answer a couple questions now. OG Sodium's back. I remember you. Happy 4th, my man. I remember you, bro. Let me see if I missed any messages. I'll address each and every. Whoops. I'll address each and every one of you. Okay, Jillian, I was talking to the whole time. Emerald said hello. Hi again. And Merce Pyro. Dopey. Yo, 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 Merce. Fellow Pyro. I remember you too. And Joshua Bibler. What kind of rocket effect of something do? Well, if it was just the black powder fuel, you would see thrust coming out from the motor. But I'm using black powder. It's a black powder rocket. It's not a whistle rocket. It's not a strobe rocket. It's just straight up black powder, Joshua and Merce. And just as a reminder, you can ram black powder rockets. You can't ram any other fuel. You can't ram whistle fuel. It'll too shock sensitive. It'll explode. But when I make my whistle rockets, I use this press here. I do make whistle rockets. So that's what's up with that. So I'm going to whip up another batch of rocket fuel, and I'll show you how I do it. So again, I'm going to put 100 grams of straight up black powder, and then add 10 grams of titanium. 5 grams, only 5%. So we'll get this tub zeroed out. So now I'm going to add 100 grams of black powder. Put that on 100. I gotta go grab more black powder. I have it. I'll be right back. I don't keep all my fuel in one place in case there is an accident. I'd rather like only the fuel blow up what I'm using than the whole shitload of it. All right, I'm putting this back. So I'm going to add the titanium to it now. I'm trying to make up my mind. I have different kinds of titanium. The sponge titanium looks the nicest, so that's what I'm going to add to it. Sponge titanium. I'm going to add 5 grams. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm only going to add like 4 grams. That's 4% titanium in the end. There we go. Okay. Doesn't look like much, but it's a lot. It's enough to make sparks. And I'll mix it up. Shake, shake, shake a pudding. Remember shake a pudding? Probably not. I don't know, Joshua, if you saw this or not, and Merce Pyro. Look what I got going on here. I'm ready for the 4th, you guys. These are all mines. They're going to shoot stars up into the air. This is a spinner. Spinner, spinner. Pinwheel spinner. Another pinwheel spinner. More rockets. Cherry bombs, M80s. Cone, fountains. I got it all, man. Another pinwheel. So, man, if you guys stick around till the night, I'm going to live stream lighting all this stuff off, man. You're going to see all my failures and all my successes. As you can tell, I'm really into it. Let me show you the shop real quick. That's all my chemicals. Actually, that's not even all of them. It's just some of them. The ones I use most frequently. That's all my literature. But I have it all memorized. But I used to print it out or write it down. This lower shelf is the stuff I use all the time, frequently. I'm always using this stuff, so that's why it's on that one shelf. And the top shelf, it's all listed from A to Z. In other words, from like ammonium nitrate right down to zirconium and zinc. Everything A to Z, so I can find it real easy. That's all my craft paper. You need craft paper for pyro. Those are a couple of my screens. You need screens for pyro. Outside of my shed. I was using these screens yesterday. That's why they're outside of the shed. That's how you sift through chemicals and you combine the chemicals really well. These are my ball mills. Matter of fact, that's what I'll do. I'll whip up a batch of black powder. I'll show you how I make my black powder. These are ball mills. And I'll make black powder. Why not? There's a whole thing of black powder I made yesterday, but I'm making more. So good. Well, I'll show you how black powder is made. That'll take a couple minutes. those ball mills I showed you, they were rock tumblers I got at Harbor Freight. And them rock tumblers come with 2 barrels, but if you're making black powder, you can only roll 1 barrel at a time, and I'll show you why. Inside each barrel is something that looks like this. These are lead balls, and there's 500 grams of lead balls in there. And you add your compositions. This weighs a lot. This is pretty heavy. That's why you can't use both barrels when you're ball milling black powder, because they're only built to tumble rocks. They're not built to make black powders. But since we modified the rock tumblers to make black powder, you just use 1 barrel at a time. So yes, I'll show you how I make the black powder then. Black powder is 75% potassium nitrate. Fixing the camera here. 75% potassium nitrate. Oh, darn it, I'm on the wrong. You guys didn't even see that. I'll have to explain that again. Sorry. What I was trying to show you and you guys missed it, I apologize. These are the barrels that come off the ball mills. And inside these barrels are these lead 30 caliber shot. These barrels weigh around 500 grams with that lead shot in there. And as these barrels rotate on that rock tumbler, now we're turning it into a ball mill. We're making the rock tumbler into a ball mill. As these barrels rotate with that lead shot inside, that's what grinds the chemicals down and up or into, blah, blah, blah. That's what grinds your combination of chemicals to create the black powder. And I'll say it all again as I go along. But the camera wasn't facing, so now I got it facing the right way. I'm new at this. I really suck, you guys. I'm sorry. But I'm going to keep going. So again, to make black powder, you need 75% potassium nitrate, 15% charcoal, and 10% sulfur. So I'm going to get all this out, and I'll show you what I mean as we go along here. So first, I'm going to weigh out the potassium nitrate. I know what these tubs weigh, but I just want to make sure I got my act together. I want to do it right. I don't want to do it twice. Just hang in there for a minute, and I'll start talking again as soon as I get my act together here. Oh, Richard, what are you gonna do? That was a fuck up. Oh, Richard, figure it out, mister. It's too heavy. Okay. Okay, now that I got my scale zeroed out, I'm going to weigh out 75% of potassium nitrate. And I'll show you what that looks like. Potassium nitrate, sometimes it's a powder. This is a prill. It's like little tiny balls. This is actually fertilizer. That's why it's shaped in these little balls. But this is pure potassium nitrate. Trying to make myself a little room here. Let's clean up this mess a little. I can't deal with messes. I gotta have everything nice and clean. It drives me crazy. So let's give me another minute. All right, so I'm going to weigh out 75% of this potassium nitrate. Getting close. I could tell by the way the scales are. Okay. I want this scale. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can. I want this to be right near the 0. I want that right near in the middle. Okay. So there's my 75% potassium nitrate. And I'm going to put 15% charcoal. Charcoal. Almost there. Oh, I guess not. Okay. So 15% charcoal and then 10% sulfur. I'll show you what sulfur. Sulfur's yellow. I'm sure you've seen it on TV. And 10% sulfur. So sulfur's yellow. Okay. And then I'll put that into the barrel. I'll show you what I mean. Put this into the barrel. The lid on. Burp it. I always put tape around here. As soon as I find my tape, I'm not going to use that. That's good stuff. I got junky tape. Here it is. Good old cheap masking tape. I always put tape around here because I like redundancy in case this lid pops off. And I've had lids pop off on me before. And if I would have taped it, then I wouldn't have had the problem that I had prior. So I put tape on. Because you'll see why. These things, they got to spin for 4 hours. You're going to see in a minute what's going on here. I'm going to show you right now. These are the actual rock tumbler devices. Oh, they're not plugged in. I got to plug them in. It rained last night. Let me see the front camera on. Yeah, it rained last night, and I had to unplug everything. It was like 85 degrees last night, yesterday. It rained, and it dropped down to like 45 or 50 degrees. That's the Poconos for you. I'm looking for my multi-outlet John. Get all my ball mills plugged in. This is what you hear. That's what you're hearing. Again, that's just a rock tumbler that I got. Hi, Emmanuel. Hey, buddy. That's a rock tumbler I got from Harbor Freight, and I modified it to ball mill black powder. That rain must have did a number on it. That'll, once it lubes up, that'll start spinning good again. Oh boy, that rain really did a number on these guys. That's better. That's what it should look like. I'm gonna spray that with WD-40. I shouldn't have left them out in the rain. I'm paying for it now. I'm going to check on them from time to time. I'm going to spray it with WD-40 because that's got to roll reliably. My bad. I left that stuff. Lazy Richard left it out in the rain. What do those do? Zeflex is asking. That's how I make my black powder, my man. Zeflex. I mix potassium nitrate, charcoal, and sulfur. And I'm making gunpowder, black powder, so I can make my fireworks. I make my own fireworks, bro. And black powder is the main ingredients for fireworks, Zeflex. And that's what I'm doing. I'm making black powder. And I left my ball mills out in the rain last night, and they must have got a little rusty, so I'm going to spray some lubricant on them, get them spinning better. So that's what you tuned into, Zeph. Some nut making black powder. Some lunatic making black powder. You never thought you'd get something like that, did you? Well, maybe you did on 4th of July, you know? Nah, I don't like that. I do not like what I see. I know what the problem is. The barrels are too slippery. All right, I know what I got to do. So I'm just going to continue on because that's what I was planning on doing today. I just live stream Richard making his fireworks. I'm sorry to bore you guys. Normally I walk a dog and I talk to everybody and I say hi and I listen to what all you guys are saying. I like to be friendly. I love to be friendly all the time. But I'm just getting ready for the 4th of July here, Zeph and Emmanuel. And that's what I'm doing. Hold on a second. Yes. A little later, sure. I am live streaming. I'll get you more. At least 15 minutes so I can get my black powder up and running? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Not a problem. So yeah, I plan on live streaming on and off all day today. I have to walk the dog. I gotta get alcohol for my party. I have to get charcoal. The store closes at 7. So I'm going to finish getting my black powder ready. I have 4 ball mills. I want to get all 4 up and running. I might have to hang up, but I'll come back and I'll light more stuff off for you guys. I'll make more stuff. I'll explain everything as I go along. And hey, we'll have one big party. But just for now, I got to finish up making my black powder. Richard's got to finish making his black powder. And I'm just going to talk out loud. Tell you what I'm doing. So that one ball mill's spinning. Let me make sure it's still spinning. Yeah. And I got 3 more to go. So again, I'm gonna add 75% potassium nitrate, 15% charcoal, and 10% sulfur. Okay, so here we go. 75% potassium nitrate. You want the scale to be right at the 0. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you can kind of see it. Right at the 0, and that's how you know you got your 75%. Then I'm going to get 15% charcoal. So I'm blocking it. This is hard to do so you guys can watch at the same time. There you go. Now you can see. 15% charcoal. Just about there. And 10% sulfur. And you talk to any pyrotechnician, and if you say the number 75, 15, and 10, they're going to know you're talking about black powder. If you're a pyrotechnician and you don't know the number 75, 15, and 10, then you're not a pyrotechnician. Hi, Jillian. All right, I have to grab another barrel and get that ready. Again, I bought these rock tumblers at Harbor Freight. Back when I got them, they were like $50. Nowadays, they're more like $100. You could build your own ball mill for way cheap. Well, Lazy Richard bought rock tumbler and modified it into a ball mill. And what's inside these barrels, you got to buy this stuff I'm about to show you. It doesn't come with the rock tumblers. Rock tumblers don't come with this lead shot. Rock tumblers only come with the barrel and the machine. You got to buy this. This is called milling media. This is 30 caliber lead shot, and that's what grinds your potassium nitrate and charcoal and sulfur down. It pulverizes it. And that's how you make your black powder. That's black powder. That's the finished product right there. Okay, so you put the lid on. You burp it. I always put tape around here, get some redundancy going. I've had these lids pop off on me before. So if you got tape around it, they can't pop off. Nothing's impossible. I learned that in life. But it really lessens the chance of the lid popping off. Believe me, nothing's impossible. When you think something can't go wrong, it does. Murphy's Law. Alright, so I'll pop this baby on and I'll show you what I mean. Alright. I know what's going on, and I'll explain what I have to do. I left my ball mills out in the rain last night. So what I have to do now is I got to make this outside of this a little more sticky, and I'll show you how I do that. You learn all these tricks. The more you play with fireworks, the more tricks you learn. And this is another trick I learned to make the barrel more sticky. I'm just going to put tape. You'll see what I mean. Just like this. Now that's going to be real sticky. And it'll spin nicely now. This stickiness will grab onto, you'll see. Switch cameras. You shall see. See, now that's spinning no problem because that's sticky. And that sticky will rub off onto the ball mill, and I'll never have to do that again. Don't leave your ball mills out in the rain like Lazy Richard does. It's bad for him, and it makes everything too clean, and the barrel slip. So, yeah, see how that worked, Jolene? I'm pretty good, huh? All right. So, just gonna ramble on. So I got 2 more to go. Thank you. You're welcome. So, 75% potassium nitrate. %, charcoal. There's my other hand so you can see. I should use a bigger spoon. There we go. %, sulfur. One more to go. As you can see, I have tons of potassium nitrate. Potassium nitrate is probably the most used chemical in fireworking. You need potassium nitrate. Without potassium nitrate, you're nobody if you're a pyrotechnician. %, charcoal. %, sulfur. Uh-oh, that was not right. I gotta fix that. I'm glad I caught myself. Oh no, that was right. Okay, never mind. 36.5. 10% sulfur. Oh, that's good. No wonder. I'm such a space kid. Richard's a space cadet. Not only is he lazy, but he's a space cadet. He's neurotic like his dog. Alright, gotta grab that last barrel. Yeah. Okay. I'll look at it. And that's it, man. All 4 barrels are spinning. And I'll let that go for they say between 2 and 4 hours. I let mine go for the full 4. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. Some people do it more, but 4 hours is enough. So that's it, man. I'm definitely going to live stream again because I got some more finished work I want to take care of. When it starts getting dark, you guys are going to get to see me light all this stuff off, man. We're going to have a lot of fun. But I'm coming back on soon. But I just have to run to the store before all the store closes and get last minute goodies, barbecue, charcoal, lighter fluid, alcohol. I don't drink, but for my friend, alcohol, and soda, and whatever cool stuff you might need for a barbecue. So, but I'll be back. I'm definitely going to be, I think I'll be doing this all day. So I'm hanging up now, and I will talk to you all real soon. Bye, Jillian, if you're still there. My sub, the only sub that